been working with POLTRONA FRAU for over 10 years on different design pieces, and probably the key one which got it all going was our new concert hall in New York, the Experimental Media and Performing Arts Center. And the centerpiece of that is a new concert hall designed for symphonic recitals for 1,200 people. So every element had to be acoustically designed, so it's almost like a musical instrument in its own right. And in there are 1,200 seats, and so it's absolutely critical that when the concert hall is full, or when it's half full, or when it's quarter full, it sounds just as beautiful. So it meant the seat had to work acoustically in exactly the same way whether somebody was sitting in it or whether it closed up. So it actually meant it was more than just a piece of beautiful design, it actually had a performance in it. And so we worked very closely with POLTRONA FRAU, developing the chair. We wanted something that captured the spirit of the building, so it has a sort of timber shell form. You know, so it looks aesthetically very pleasing, but the most important part is that acoustically it works as part of the whole ensemble of the concert hall. And that was a very kind of evolutionary process, testing ideas. They came back and worked with the engineering side with us and then built prototypes. And then we actually tested acoustically working prototypes of the chair. But I think the key thing is who's using, what the interface is, who our design audience are. So, you know, for Tirana, for a whole capital city, it's about a whole city, and that's society and what they require. So you're thinking at that scale. So, you know, we're interested in how greenery and how the city needed parks and a green lung and different facilities such as, you know, outside swimming areas and so on. So it reflects the kind of scale that we're working at. Whereas with a building, it's about the community within the building. So, you know, circulation, how you can intermingle people and how you can use it as a device to create a stronger sense of community within that group. And down to the individual piece, whether it's a chair or a door handle, it's the pure design interface between the tactile quality of somebody reaching out and touching and holding it. So it's the scale of our user, if you like, a design interface.
I was thinking the architecture has a funny relationship with the arts, but one thing that's certain is that when it comes to materials, the architect has a kind of palette in exactly the same way as a painter has a palette. You know, that's the big thing you mix the paint on. You have a range of materials, and as the firm goes on, your range of materials gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But this range of materials covers everything from fabrics and carpet and soft materials right through to the end to concrete and steel and so on. And you can use any of those materials on any particular building. You have to, so you're always selecting and you're always building up your palette of materials. So sometimes you see a new material and you think, that looks fantastic, it's got real potential, it's got fantastic qualities, and you don't know how you're going to use it, but you kind of learn about it and it goes into your head, and you think about, you know, when some next suitable building comes up, you use it. And nowadays there's a lot of new recycled materials and things like that, which we used, for instance, in our project in New York, where you're using things that really are made of completely kind of waste materials, and but using them in a new way. And it's very exciting for an architect to increase the palette all the time. I think it's living life, really, probably. It's just living. You spend your life in most of your life in buildings which already exist, which somebody else has built, somebody else has designed, and you have at the beginning of your life as an architect, I suppose you want to demolish everything, you know, and start again, and you think you can design a whole city or the whole world, but gradually you learn. For instance, to take a city, it's like a piece of tapestry, you know, and it has a hole in it, and you repair it. So you put a new piece of building in there, and hopefully it fits with the rest of the tapestry of the city. And you have to learn, you know, over years, humility, and to respect a city and a town as it is, and that you're just adding something to it, or making a connection, or you know, repairing it, or but hopefully you're always adding something, and you're respecting what's there. I did a bit of teaching not long ago to some students in Venice, and at the end of the week we had a debate, and the subject was, does Venice need more new buildings? Very, very hot debate. And the interesting thing was, it was 55-45 for new buildings, which I thought was great. But they were very young.
I mean, typically a project like that is a great opportunity for us to do a custom piece of furniture, but in a way you have to try and navigate it into the contract, because the way the project was set up was that they basically wanted a chair to meet the budget. We, having collaborated with Poltrona Frau in the past, saw it as a great opportunity to do this again, and the client really enjoyed that opportunity. And also being able to design your own chair or piece of furniture or signage system that's beyond the architectural scope. It in a way maintains the integrity of the architecture, gives us a little bit more control. You know, it's not applicable for every case, but so the planetarium chair had quite a lean budget, and to do a custom chair at such a budget, it's a lot easier to get something off the shelf. So we produced this very sort of monolithic, very robust design. As opposed to an auditorium chair, there's a lot more shows. There's maybe one show per day per hour in a planetarium that you know, could happen 12 times a day. So you've got kids coming in and adults, and the seats going up and down and kicking things, and it's so we designed one that was very, very durable, that met all the parameters, and it also needed a headrest because, you know, we're looking up at the show at the top. It was, in the end, the client went for it, and it met all the budgets and beat the other contractors involved, and they're very excited about it. So that's the long and short of it.
Could I just add a little something to that? It's on the question of cost, because when you think of the cost of the seats, when we're building a planetarium, which is quite a complicated structure, the costs are the seats are a small proportion of the cost, and yet it makes such a difference to the atmosphere and to the feel and to the feeling of quality in the space. And the same thing, well, really in any auditorium. If you have a good and a comfortable seat, that's what people remember. You know, they may not remember the music, but they remember the seat. And it's one of those fascinating things that it's the quality that counts.